Yeah, so last time Willow attempted to go down to El Paso, and she detected a couple of radar signals, more than usual. And then when she sort of hailed on the radio, she was greeted by a person who did not identify themselves and asked who she was. And she decided to not go to El Paso. And she sort of dropped down, lay in ambush for a couple of Coalition sky cycles that just happened to be coming from the southern direction, which she had a brief skirmish with, beat them up, and went back home. At which point, she decided to come over and help Rudge and the citizens of Dawnspire with their sort of pseudo siege that was going on. Which, of course, the plan was for Titanus to get in her power armor and throw her at the general vicinity of the Coalition.
See the video I posted.
Yep. Which, with some Coalition armor, officer armor that you took from one of the dead officers that you guys fought, and it so far has worked perfectly. You are now inside of the Coalition war camp, and you're going into the Death's Head transport to deliver your debrief to your superior officer. So, yep, that'll be great. And then Rudge, you, of course, decided that you didn't have enough time to mess around with this controls when you know the key to getting this tower to do stuff is to turn it on, and you decided to go underneath the control board and basically follow the wires to figure out where the on button is.
Right. You're trying to like hotwire an alien tower.
Right.
Yeah, which he did successfully do.
Goddamn right.
You used the annihilation blast to open a very wobbly hole in the floor.
Wobbly at best.
Yeah, and you went down there yourself, descending all the way into the depths. And where you found something that seemed to be a source of power. You messed with it enough that it turned on. You then realized that it was a thermal reactor.
Yeah.
And
just
you were
what I knew it was.
Inside of the wire insulation, which was this sort of vacuum surrounding these columns that were rapidly heating up to white-hot temperatures.
And I don't like, lukewarm temperatures.
No. So you decided to leave.
Yeah.
And most of you left.
Hey, there's most of me left. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
More than 50%.
Aha.
Thanks to a lucky Dawnspire marksman and your the fact that you rolled one higher, the fact on the dice last level up than you might have otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. All those little ass.
All those little D6s.
Yeah, those little D6 MDC rolls, health rolls. Wow, I didn't even think of that.
It's good thing you leveled up.
Right, I'd be dead if I didn't level up. Holy bejesus.
So unfortunately, Rudge succeeded at turning on the power. Unfortunately, Rudge is also down for the count for the next couple hours as Zero tries to keep him from dying.
Right, because that's all I can do is just not die.
Leaves Willow with her current situation.
And no backup.
Yep. So, Mike, I apologize. You'll probably not have very much action for the first little bit of this game, but
it's all right. I mean, last game I was doing most of the end anyway. Had like
That's okay.
That's
That
true.
now,
I had more than half an hour to myself, so
Yeah.
go for
Maybe
it.
maybe this session you guys will reunite.
Maybe we'll see. If
we'll use these videos as a perfect example of what happens when you split the party.
Yep.
right. Oh, speaking of, have you seen it? All that stuff I've been throwing up on YouTube, all these video links. Blaine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're recording, right? I was actually
Right.
just gonna ask to make sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. These are definite. What don't.
I got my little brother watching them too.
Nice.
Nice.
Of what not to do when you split the party. Go and get maimed, and then be zero help to your party member for the rest of the campaign or rest of the session.
No, your
Yep.
party member that decided on their own to go in disguise into an alien war camp
Yep.
with no weapons.
Yep. No communication.
Well, I mean,
no nothing.
No weapons is relative for both of you.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We have to put no weapons.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Unarmed.
I mean, you're unlegged.
Yeah. There you go.
By the way, do you see the little icon I gave you on
Yeah.
Rudge?
Big arms with no legs. I got.
So you're gonna
I got the big
gotta-
arms challenge.
gotta work out.
I'm gonna take up fucking bench pressing and just get. just
God, I
get
didn't even
huge.
see that.
Walk like a gorilla.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so perfect. Oh shit, that's great.
All right. Oh yeah. What did we? Oh, so are you done with the recap, or should keep?
Yep.
All right. What did we rule on cybernetics?
Oh yeah. So the short answer, yeah, I think they're fine. Long answer, I feel like there are definitely some superpowers that wouldn't work with cybernetics, like things that enhance your body in some way to make you incompatible, like Ian or Gary or Willow obviously just couldn't use them because metal body, vibrating, super speed, all
Yeah,
these things don't work.
All these things. All these are reasons.
But yeah, Rudge is all mental, so
Okay. Yeah.
you don't
He might go
your
mental.
legs don't really factor in.
I see.
Also, if you're not a full conversion board, honestly, the mechanical benefits are minimal compared to the power level you guys are at.
Right.
Like,
All I'm gonna do is just get some really nice looking legs and then try and graft some skin onto them. Like you said, grow some skin.
yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you made them like super tricked out, they would give you a little bit more benefit than what you currently would have with normal legs. But
I'm not looking.
not
Yeah, cool. I mean, I suppose if I'm gonna get them, I might as well upgrade. But you know, if
Yeah.
I lost my bio legs, might as well get some better legs.
I have some stuff for that later.
Yeah.
But, for right now,
Yep.
we'll move into Willow's predicament. Which, oh man, I forgot. I gotta get some dice out.
I have you all surrounded.
Land
That's
this
the way
shit.
you want to look at it.
Land
Yeah,
this
that's my
shit
mercy.
now.
It's already landed.
Preferably on your captains.
Yes, if you could just do me a favor, tip this thing upside down and land on your captain, that'd be great.
Yes. Piloting check.
If
I mean,
you would, please.
If that's the negotiating strategy you want to go with, then by all means. Although before you lock in on that, I'll move you over to the map that you're currently on.
The map. The map. The map. The map. Oh, I was just putting Rudge, my picture, in place with his icon. And I just got it overlaid. And then we moved.
So here's the sort of general setup of the camp that Willow found herself in. 10-foot squares. This helicopter right here is the one that you got a ride from.
Okay.
So basically, it just landed, and then this guy right here is escorting you to the commander. to give your report. So yeah, you see a couple of Samaz units walking around. Some of them are on the outskirts, or like keeping watch. This one with the fist looks a little bit bigger and bulkier, and he has 2 shoulder-mounted cannons, in addition to the big gun that he's holding.
Because why not, Coalition?
Yep, because more guns. These guys with the skull, they're Skelebots,
Okay.
and they're just
Hanging out.
posted outside of the ramp here.
Seems like good stuff to me.
Yep.
I really like the Death's Head like iconography, because like I could identify that even if we weren't playing this game.
The shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, it turned out really good. The glowing and everything.
Mm-hmm. Got the eyes. Yeah. So, and you get to see the inside as well. Lucky you.
I know, right?
As you walk up the ramp, you are treated to. I gotta do all the main hangar bay.
Are these helicopters like purposely different sizes, or like are they
yeah, the 3 right there are the larger carriers, and then
okay.
the one that you came in was like the smaller attack helicopter.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see inside there is this big ass robot, which I think is the biggest Coalition robot you've seen.
Yep.
Skelebot. Or not Skelebot.
Spider Skullwalker.
Spider Skullwalker, yeah. I was thinking of the Rose and Rose of Skelebots
now,
there.
would that be a Scuttlebot? Like
Those are the smaller ones.
Yeah, that's like
There we go.
that's like the Savage World picture, and I gotta say, like the Savage World picture makes it look a lot more dainty than what the old book does.
Yeah. It makes it look smaller.
Yeah.
And then there are 2 more light robots right there.
Sorry. Oh yeah. The 2-legged guys.
So these Samaz units up here, they are not being manned right now.
Okay.
Same with the Sky Cycles.
Okay.
The units with the wings on them, they're wearing like pilot armor and getup.
Okay. You did a really good job with it, man.
The Skelebots over all the way down here are also not active.
Okay.
They're sleeping.
Aw, how nice.
It's
Nap
cute.
time.
So assuming you are still following this guy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just be taking as many mental notes as possible.
He walks you around here, and up to this like sort of command console type thing. You see this guy again looks like a pilot, but maybe an engineer, because he's got like a tool belt, some more like utility stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy has his helmet that he's sort of tucking under his arm has more like ridges and spiky bits. And you see like his shoulder has a more intricate insignia, which you take as probably means that he is higher rank. And the soldier that kind of guided you up here sort of stops at the top of the stairs and salutes and says, oh shit, what? I remember I said the person who you are.
Yeah, I have the name.
Did you write down what the name was?
Yeah, it's somewhere here. Actually, it might even be in the Roll20 chat, actually. It was when we were making fun of him. Let's see. Maybe not.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wrote it down here. It's just a matter of which notebook I wrote it in. I think it was Major something. Oh no,
It'd be Sergeant.
Yeah. No, the only note that I have is Corporal Booker, 41st Mechanized Division.
Okay, yeah, that's one of the guys you interrogated.
Yeah, I don't have.
Problem with probably it came up almost a month ago, so it's like.
Yep. Do we? I swear we wrote it down somewhere. Like I remember seeing it. I swear on the computer somewhere, but maybe not.
Not on.
I swear I thought we had it in Roll20. Honestly, it's crazy that's not.
No.
Roll20 sabotaged us.
All right. Well, Sergeant.
Corporal. Or no, yeah, Sergeant. You said.
Sergeant. Trent. Presumably last name.
Yep.
So, yeah, this guy sort of steps up and says, Commander Crawford, Sergeant Trent of the scouting party that we lost, we found her. And Commander Crawford kind of looks at him and then turns to look at you. With he's got sort of like I guess you can actually see his face. He's got the standard sort of like Aryan complexion, like short blonde hair, just like icy cold blue eyes. And he just kind of looks at you and says, Sergeant, you look like you've been through the ringer.
Doing her best to like kind of like shift through kind of like a salute, but kind of like brushing past as quickly as she can because she doesn't know the proper form or anything.
Yep.
She's gonna like kind of like fuck with the external projection from the what the hell's it called, loudspeaker, and attempt to make it like cut in and out.
Yeah, I recall last time you pretended that your comms were broken because so you didn't have to talk to them.
Yeah, so she's gonna try and do her best to make that like kind of cut in and out, and she's gonna say, Commander, I must speak with you in private. It's urgent, and loose ears shouldn't hear it. I have important information, with it being cutting in and out and repeating where she needs to, kind of staticky as best she can.
Give me a trust intimidate.
That'd be a 17.
Nice. All right. So he kind of looks over at the soldier who brought you and says, where did you find her? And says, out by to the north a couple of miles, walking. We just saw her on one of the sweeps and came down. her helmet's damaged or something. And the commander kind of nods and looks back to you, Willow.
This armor is all beat to shit too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got thrown at the ground, so looks back to you and says, Jenkins, help her take that armor off. Go over into the port observation bay. I'll meet you there shortly. So, like, this guy kind of, like, steps up.
Will fall in line behind them.
All right. So he leads you over this way.
Yeah, I'll follow right behind wherever.
To this door here. So steps out into like this room with looks like sensor equipment and stuff. And he kind of like walks over to this guy and like pats him on the shoulder and says, Commander wants this room for a briefing, or debrief. And he just kind of like nods, presses a couple of buttons, and walks up to this door over here. And Jenkins sort of gestures for you to sit down in a chair and pulls out a couple of tools. It says, neck piece bent.
Doing the same thing where she's trying to cut the audio out. There's a piece lodged in the side of my head. I'd prefer if you could leave most of the helmet on.
Ooh.
I don't think I will survive this helmet coming off all the way without an immediate medical operation, but we don't have time for that.
Ouch. And he kind of like looks at it from the outside and is like,
I feel no pain. That's part of the problem.
Oh.
Please, just tell the commander this is urgent.
Yeah, he kind of like looks at the helmet and armor again and just sort of like nods this. Yeah, I'll go tell him and then get a doctor.
Appreciated.
So he leaves, and you are alone in this room for momentarily, at least.
Yeah. Looking around, so there's like the sensor equipment. Is there anything else other than is this like a communications room, or is it a?
Yeah, it seems to be a communications room.
Okay.
What you can tell, communications, sensors, the like.
Cool, a bunch of stuff that I'm not super familiar with. I know a bit.
Yeah.
I know enough to operate machines. So she'll just kind of like sit patiently, like almost like she's like nursing a wound on like her right side.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna wait patiently.
Okay. You don't have to wait long. About a minute or two goes by before the commander comes inside. Helmet on now.
Willow will like struggle to kind of stand up, like just kind of like almost like weakly.
At ease, soldier.
And she'll like just kind of like sit on like the edge of her seat, like, you know, almost like she feels like she should be standing, but, you know, sitting down slightly. Does he close the door behind him?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Willow is going to take her true form under the armor and pull the helmet off.
Okay.
And like without skipping a beat, she's gonna immediately start talking. I apologize for the deception, but I needed to speak with you before hostilities erupted around here.
Does your metal form have a horror factor?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right. To his credit, he does not flinch.
That's good. I only need a minute or two of your time. If you're not happy with what I have to say, feel free to attack me all you want if that is what you wish, or arrest me. But I have several pieces of information I would like to share with you before this gets worse.
Interesting. You would be the metal-based DB that some of the scouting patrols have encountered, I presume.
Yes, I am. I would like to start there, actually, and correct you of some very misinformation that your folks have. I am not a DB. I did not travel through any dimensional rifts to get here. I come from the stars. Points up.
That makes little difference to us.
Yes, yeah. I traveled here. Well, my journey here started several years ago when my companions and I discovered that we were free of past burdens and we were freed from a very treacherous situation. We had been shown the worst and best that this universe has to offer, and in our time of choice, we decided that we did not want to see others suffer like we did. Our first option was to head to a planet that was on the verge of an apocalypse due to civil strife. We found Earth in our databanks, and so we set out to attempt to assist. Our information was unfortunately several centuries old, and by the time we got here, your planet had already been ravaged by what looks to be some form of apocalypse. We came here on a diplomatic mission in an attempt to help. Therefore, we were traveling in a vessel that had no form of defenses, and it was shot down, well, destroyed by some orbital defense this planet has. Upon landing here, we saw that there were many horrific things that were a threat to humanity. Our primary goal was to come and help the humans, and when we saw that humans had been pushed to the brink of extinction, we saw that it was far too late for our diplomatic mission. In the time that we've been here, there are very few pockets of civilization where humans truly thrive. From what we've seen, the Coalition seems to be humanity's best hope. I do not know enough about the Coalition's ethics and morals to determine whether that is ultimately true or not. But based on your actions here is how I must judge your faction. And I, so far, am unimpressed. My people want no war, no troubles with the Coalition. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We believe that we could be a great help to the Coalition, and in turn, the Coalition could assist us by keeping our territories to the right, to the east, safer. It seems you are attempting to shore up your left flank for your campaign of unity, I believe it's called, and it seems as though you're doing so by being invaders to your smaller neighbors. I am in no illusion that we could stand up to the Coalition's full force, but I do believe we are far more trouble than what it is worth to get rid of us. The information I truly have, in all honesty, is probably needed to be heard by your superiors, because I doubt anything that I could attempt to broker with you, I doubt you'd be able to make any sway with your commanders. But as you are the highest ranking official I have heard of to date, I needed to speak with you personally first. Now, I must regret to inform you that pretty much everyone that was traveling in the vessel that Sergeant Trent was on is dead. A couple pilots, I believe they were, have survived and are our prisoners and are being held to the highest standards of decency that we can offer. As a gesture of good faith to show that I truly mean no hostility towards you other than the unfortunate incident of destroying your flying craft, I would gladly give you back these prisoners so that you may question them yourselves about the events. Your airship traveled over our territory during a time of very high tensions, and unfortunately there was not time to discuss a plan of action. They were seen as a hostile force to be taken out, and they were. I regret every single human life that was lost that day. While I am not human myself, I honestly put your lives above ours currently. You have no reason to believe me in any regard in this, but I would not have made such a foolish mistake to come into your armed camp alone, unarmed, and, well, alone. If I didn't believe that I have something to truly speak with you about. You are, for lack of a better word, sieging a friendly, non-hostile city simply because you are at war. You are acting as an aggressive, invading force.
So you are affiliated with the city that calls itself Dawnspire?
Not in the least, and that is something I needed to make very clear. They are a beacon of hope for those that have no hope in these regions. Travelers that need a safe place, a friendly place to stop in, can stop here without going through military checkpoints, without going through the citizenship that your people require of basic travelers. People that have nothing can stop by and camp for the evening before heading out in the morning. I have talked with Father Castor and his leadership on several occasions, but we are not affiliated in any way. I just know from personal experience they are good people, and what I see here is that you are the oppressors.
They certainly seem to be good people. What do you know of their tower? It does not appear to be of human construction. Or so the scientists tell me.
I have had only brief interactions with the tower and know that it's a structure, but aside from that, I couldn't tell you what it is. They definitely didn't create it. They occupy the space with the acceptance and authorization of whoever left the tower, though, because the tower seems to watch over them. Part of the reason why I came here is to offer you a warning. I do fully believe that if you attempt to assault them, that tower could activate some form of defensive protocol, and I have no idea what that could be. No one does. I have personally attempted to breach a similar tower in a different location, and I will tell you right now that it unleashed a force that could wipe out everything I've seen of the coalition so far with little ease. But it only acts in self-defense. I truly want to preserve all the lives that are here, both yours and of the people of Dawnspire. What you're doing right now is simply creating unnecessary hardship for everyone involved. If you attempt to occupy Dawnspire, which is what I'm assuming you're doing by doing what you're doing right now, I promise you there will be lives lost, and it won't be because of the Dawnspire people. If they allowed you in their city, they would do so, but there will be repercussions to your hostile actions. There are people and things that watch over Dawnspire because it has been a beneficial settlement for a very long time for a great number of people. The other warning that I have is that the people of Dawnspire mean you no harm whatsoever. But there is a force to the south that is gaining massive amounts of power daily. There is a demon that is gathering forces and have laid out plans for countless years. I don't know how long. I haven't been here long enough to know how far his plans reach back, but he has definitely been here a while. And he could be potentially planning something very, very big. He is a actual demon as far as my research has been shown. But he is one of the reasons why my forces and the people of Dawnspire have been on edge. The tendrils that this demon is out throughout this planet is far reaching, and it is almost never open to the naked eye. He seems to have a sway with supernatural forces even at great distances, and it wouldn't surprise me if they reached the coalition states. My forces are right now but a blip on the map to you. And I'll make it very clear. No matter what you throw at us, we will survive, we will endure. And our plan is to rise up very powerful, and we will. It's just a matter of time. And once again, I promise you that we have no hostilities towards the coalition, as I've said, and will continue to say. I view you as humanity's best chance of surviving this hellhole of a planet. Once my forces become something more than what they currently are, I want to ally up with the coalition, but I refuse to be a vassal or a subsidiary of the coalition. You seem to treat your underlings, and she's going to kind of point out to the city, or those less than you, as lessers, and that is unacceptable.
Very interesting indeed. You certainly have a plethora of information, and
that is but a drop in the bucket.
Ideas are intriguing. I must say, I appreciate your forthrightness in this situation. There are few creatures such as yourself who do us the favor of a formal greeting such as this. Not to mention laying out your plans.
Well, your lasers tend to make it hard to talk.
You say that you have walked this planet for some time, seen the creatures that live it.
Not a terrible long time. I have been here a short duration.
Well, if
in all
you
reality
have survived out in this wasteland long enough, I'm sure that you will have seen the things that the Coalition has to defend humanity against.
Jack.
Absolutely.
And these things, you may not have encountered this yet, but the greatest threats do not always come bearing fangs. sometimes the greater threats to humanity would offer a friendly hand whilst moving to plant a knife between our back. We, as soldiers of the Coalition, have to watch out for all these things. I am intrigued by your proposition of neutrality. It is not often that a force as seemingly small as yours is ambitious enough to come forward with such a proposition.
When I say that we will rise up quickly, what do you know of me? I imagine that word of me has come through your ears a few times, but what have you actually heard so that I might correct the information?
I have heard that you are a being of metal, that you are able to rip asunder things made of metal and heat them to incredible temperatures. I've heard that you are highly resistant to many kinds of damage. It seems that you also possess some level of advanced technology.
That's the point I want to click on for you. Let me shed a little bit of light for you. Once again, I'm not here to hide in the shadows. My people are greatly advanced compared to the Coalition. While I do not have access to my people's technology directly anymore, my true powers do not actually... my true powers, in my personal opinion, are not my nearly invulnerable skin, my ability to heat and cool metals. In truth, I am one of the most brilliant engineers you will ever meet. I can replicate any of my people's technology with very little effort. In a matter of hours, days, couple weeks, I can put forth the plans of a robot, a airship, a power armor suit. Things that your people would take years, decades, centuries to come up with. Even amongst my people, I am quite gifted. My forces, the moment we decide to do so, will explode in actual strength. We set out to be a small settlement and just help humans that happen to wander by. But when the Coalition began to aggressively expand and encroach into our territory, we were forced to act defensively, and that is not something we wanted to do. One of my closest advisors is a brilliant military tactician, and he will... Well, he's not here, and he won't say anything, but he has advised that we build up our military strength immediately, and the plans have already begun. Right now, we are a blip, a pretty much nothing. By the end of the week, month, near future, we will be stronger than the city of Dawnspire. Short time period of after that, we will be a true thorn in your side if we were your enemy. Again, we do not want to be. It doesn't matter if you came for us. We could travel far beyond your reaches very quickly without you ever knowing it. So sending an attack force is completely irrelevant. We are not tied down to a location like most folks on this planet. I admire your robots, your power armor, and your skelebats those skeleton robots out there seem to be a neat design. but they all pale in comparison to my people's technology. Your war campaign is putting you all in a very precarious situation because you're now forcing would-be allies and neutral parties into being on the defensive. You're putting them in a diplomatic position to where if, say, someone such as myself, who had no desire to be a powerful military force, if we are faced with either occupation or extinction, well, we're going to build up our power, I promise you that. I imagine... Oh, go ahead.
Continue.
No. I imagine that the force that I see out here is but a tiny, tiny fraction of the might that the coalition could muster in these parts, and I have no illusion, once more, of thinking that anywhere in the near future we could stand up to the coalition. But as I said, that is not our goal. My true proposition at the end of all of this is that the coalition is currently engaged in a war, a campaign of unity that I have no doubt you will win. And from what I've heard, most of your war takes place elsewhere, and this seems to be a flank of yours, from what I've heard. What I offer is that I want to protect this flank for you. I want to open a true line of communication between your commanders and our people, so that there's no misunderstandings that the coalition military is not welcomed out here whatsoever. Your forces right here are a blatant intrusion on the people of Dawnspire's safety and freedom. The fact that you've set up a military camp on their doorstep is insulting. They have never been an offense to you, and yet you presume that you can occupy their city. When I tell you that I am coming forward and offering a hand to be a neutral party or ally, I do so while gritting my teeth because from what I've seen, you seem to be unethical at best. In fact, you seem to be currently just as bad as all the monsters that are attacking the innocent folk. These people were in their homes, enjoying life, not participating in anything remotely dangerous, and yet you come to essentially invade them. How are you different than the supernatural beasts that threaten humans? We are well outside your territory, your claimed territory. If you're expanding your claimed territory, then you're invading.
Are you finished?
Yes.
By the way, the entire time you were talking, he just sort of was standing there, like basically stock still, arms sort of clasped behind his back, just watching you, listening. Why don't you give me a trust intimidate roll?
She's still sitting on the chair, by the way.
Okay, yep.
12.
Nice. All right. So he says, I must admit, I have not encountered such a unique diplomatic proposition in all of my years serving the coalition military. Your situation is interesting. Unfortunately, even if I would like to accept such a proposition, you must understand the way you speak, the deals that you propose. This is not how the Coalition operates. We are humanity's last line of defense against the horrors beyond Earth. What you are now is, as you say yourself, a small force, not a threat to the great might of our armies. But if we do not excise the tumor, it could grow to threaten the very existence of our race. That is not to say that I don't believe you. Whether or not I believe you is not a consideration. As a Coalition officer, I am sworn to protect humanity, and we protect humanity by eliminating all threats to it.
Hail Hydra.
Potential or yeah, potential threats or no. That tower, whatever it may be a defensive weapon, it may be a super weapon capable of wiping off all life on this continent. We, that is to say,
Does it power up when he says that?
I mean, it doesn't have any, like, external signs of being powered up when it's powered on, even. But we, that is to say, the Coalition High Command, are not willing to take that risk. The statements you have made here have been noted. Our policy when dealing with non-humans, such as yourself, are oftentimes severe. I am sure that you would consider them horrific. This is what we must do to survive. As it stands now, I appreciate that you have extended this olive branch, as you might call it.
Willow branch.
But I am left no other choice but to take you into our custody. We do not have a choice but to ensure that this tower, your forces, as they are right now, will not ever become a threat to the Coalition. We do not play games of chance. Will you surrender willingly?
One question before I answer that. The Coalition seeks to preserve and save humanity. To what end? You are not alone in this universe. If you were to, say, reconquer your planet in its entirety once more, like in the days of old, when it was just humans that ruled this planet, would you continue to refuse allies just because they're of a different species than yourself?
You get a short laugh from him, and he says, "We are so very far away from that eventuality. I
That is-
don't think that's something that either of us have to worry about."
You are shutting others out simply because they are of a different species, yet you have become the monsters that you are literally claiming to exterminate. You are an eradicating force.
I understand how you would see it that way from your perspective.
I just want to make sure you understand that that's what you are. My perspective does not matter. As I said, I came here to help humanity, and it is clear to me now that that is not what you're here for. You are here to rule over humanity as you see fit. I have met more supernatural beings that want to help humanity than I have humans, unfortunately. Your kind, your coalition, seem to be mindless cogs that want to control everything and destroy everything else, which is no less directly evil than the supernatural monsters that I have fought to protect people here.
I have heard this speech before.
And I imagine you have. And which is why I am confused as to why you would still serve the coalition when clearly you're on the wrong side.
There
Other
are
than-
many who fail to understand the true threat that humanity faces, the threats that the coalition military, due to its structure and power, is able to stave off.
I have seen your
Every
planet
day,
from space,
every
have
year.
you?
I have not had the pleasure. No.
I don't believe you know the horrors that actually exist on this planet. This area seems quite tame as to some of the storms I saw above when we were orbiting this planet.
And you think this is a good reason to be
Look for
lenient
allies.
with the horrors that we fight?
If you are unwilling to show mercy to a potential ally, then you are literally the evil that you're eradicating. You are, you could literally put a mirror up and it would be the same person.
Kind of looks at you for a second or two and says, I did not say I wouldn't show mercy. If you surrender, I will ensure you are not killed.
What would happen? I want you to be honest with me. No bullshit. I am the leader of a potential enemy, as you would call it, DB faction. What would truly happen to me? Tell me the horrors. I want to hear them from your mouth.
You would be taken to a secure facility, most likely the Lone Star Complex. You would be interrogated, and the information that you have on the region and any potential enemies, we would obtain it. After that, I cannot say. It is out of my power.
So you cannot guarantee that I won't be executed.
Worst case, you would be imprisoned indefinitely.
Rudge, I'm getting your ship back. Going to Lone Star.
Woo! I was just about to say, like, get my ship while you're there.
Give me just a second here.
Yeah,
I
no
know.
problem.
My wording is more of how I want to be careful.
Good job so far, by the way.
Thank you.
This is much better than I expected it to go.
Yeah, like I thought of a couple different ways that I could take this. And the first one was just like jumping inside the Skullwalker, essentially.
By the way, I'm sure that you have surmised this at this point, but like the people outside of this room are definitely ready for you at this point.
Oh yeah. That's why
Yeah.
Willow is just talking because it's fun.
Yeah.
She doesn't get to talk to other people very often.
He's wearing a helmet. He definitely has. The second you took off your helmet, he alerted the entire camp.
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.